Welcome to Interviews, hosted by Randy Goodman, Harvey Callis Real Estate, your real estate professional. Get to know our community, our businesses, products, and services that will elevate your life. Please welcome your hostess, Randy Goodman.
Hi, everybody. It's Randy Goodman here from Harvey Callis Real Estate. I'm a real estate broker with the company, and I am excited to be here with a mom and daughter team. I'm so excited.
Hello,
Nora and Alexis. So Nora is a yoga wellness instructor, and Alexis is a quantum health coach and a personal trainer. And I'm super excited to have you guys. Thanks for being here.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Pleasure to be here.
Well, we're super excited to have you, and I'm excited to learn all about you guys. So this is like a double duo kind of thing. So you each are welcome to answer the questions or to add to the questions if one of you is answering. So don't worry about that. Feel free.
Sure.
So I want to know, like, what's your story, guys? Like, what do you do?
So it's a long story, but of course we're going to make it shorter for the purposes of the interview. So there was a point in our lives, maybe how many years ago?
About 2017.
Yeah, like 4 or so years ago, where we were separated by an oceans apart. I was going to school. I was at Western University studying popular music. Okay. And she was in Hungary. She was running her own yoga studio. And although we were both experiencing a lot of successes in our respective endeavors at that time, we were also undergoing a lot of emotional stress. And I think that came a lot from not seeing our future in our respective endeavors at the moment. So we spoke on Skype all the time, called each other up. I was living alone. She was living alone. And what did we talk about? We talked about quantum theory out of everything, you know? We talked about fitness. She put her 2 cents in from the yoga perspective. I was telling her all about weight training because that's when I became so big in resistance training. I loved my school gym. And so I was just going hardcore into that. And for better or for worse, right? There was a lot of physical aches and pains that came out of there, a lot of mental struggles that came out of that. But as you take your body through this journey of physical experience, mentally, emotionally, and even spiritually, which is why the talk about quantum theory somehow fit in so nicely. And we were just wondering, like, why the heck is no one talking about this stuff in context with these physical endeavors? So we just love talking about this.
Yeah, and at the same time, Randy, I was in Europe in a setting that I knew my business was going nowhere on the scope of, financial kind of goals. I would not meet my financial goals where I was set. I was in a very small town in Hungary. I'm originally from there. And helping out a friend to set up this yoga studio and at the same time taking care of my sick mother, as a matter of fact. So, and I met so many wonderful friends, so many wonderful people, some people also from the medical field, quite a few actually, who ended up sending me their patients because they discovered the wonders of yoga practice, how amazing that can, take care of your aches and pains and even mental difficulties and challenges. And I delved really deeply at that time into, just because I had the time, into the therapeutic aspects of yoga. So I was studying with a company based in New York. As a matter of fact, there was a 200-hour training in yoga therapy, and not many people are familiar with this form of preventative and also treatment, but we don't like to call it treatment because we cannot. It's not at this point a very well established or regulated system.
Same thing with the school I'm going to now, Quantum University. It's basically changing the paradigm of healthcare as a whole university. So it's very related, right?
So I met many people with different challenges, and I was the most surprised, I tell you, because I was just practicing. Basically, I did my practicum on these people. Some of them were friends and acquaintances, and others were like actual patients of doctors. And I was the most surprised, Randy, of the outcome, and how people were so appreciative that I actually, or this method, this ancient method, actually changed or began to change in their life and give them a better quality of living.
I love that. I love that.
We figured we put those two together.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, the backstory is long, and us as individuals, like our own personal history, like I've done a lot of things, you know, from all kinds of different sports, including karate. Yeah.
Yeah, we know you did too.
Yeah. All kinds of different sports. I'm still a musician, right? I'm recording my own album, debut, hopefully in the next year or two. And I'm also an aspiring sci-fi writer. So I love to write. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
and then
her books that we're launching.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Let's hope. So excited.
Well, she's basically incorporating her quantum studies or knowledge into that book. So it should be interesting. It's a different kind of angle on things.
Yeah.
I like that. I love that. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Good for you. Okay. So tell me a little bit about, because you're telling us a little bit about this already, but give me like a history on each of you on what actually led you here. I know Mom will have a little bit more history like myself.
Oh, yeah.
Like, tell me what led you to get into yoga. Were you always in yoga? And then, you know, Alexis, same with you. Were you always interested in quantum and, you know, weight training, or did you start off with something else? So give us a little bit of the history and the build up to how you got here.
Sure, no problem. Do you want me to start?
Well, you can start.
Okay, cool. You asked me first. All right. So basically, I was a dance teacher since I was 19 years old. I come from a dancer family, as a matter of fact. Folk dancing first, and then ballroom dancing, and I became a professional at age 19. Nice. And then about 20 years of age, I was in college studying. Basically, it was school teacher, but I was studying sports and physical education. And I became injured. I actually severed my ACL in my knee. And as we know, it has to do with the stability of your knee. So that was quite a disaster. And that basically have ended my competitive dancing career as we know it. And I had no access to perfect medical care there. So I did not opt for having it operated on. Okay. And then around the same time, a lot of things happened around 19 to 20 for me. And at the same time, I actually signed up for a meditation course that came to my small town of 70,000, which was a kind of a miracle in itself, how that they ended up there. And this is Maharishi Mahesh Yogi's meditation method called transcendental meditation, if you heard of it. Many people have heard of this. Many rock stars went to him as well. Not to make myself, in the same kind of class, put myself in the same class.
Beside you have the rock star. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. So yes, and I had at that time very high stress from college, and I don't think I was in the right college, to be honest with you. It wasn't the right path for me. And I had daily headaches, like migraine headaches, and very serious stomach pains, to the extent that I had to see an internalist, and she had told me that, you're gonna develop cancer, ulcers in your stomach if you don't stop this stress.
Okay.
And the headaches and the belly is the same idea, is due to stress. And so when I was talking to the coaches of this meditation course, they had promised me that in about 2 weeks' time, they gave it maximum 2 weeks. If you practice twice a day for 20 minutes, sit down, meditate religiously, these symptoms will dissipate. And of course, I didn't believe it. And I started at earnest, sat down every day religiously, same time, same place, meditating. And I noticed two things. One, my knee began to improve. So the knee pain that I was experiencing was dissipating.
Right.
And two, I actually had no more headaches and no more stomach pain. And I don't even think I needed 2 weeks for that, which was incredible for me. Yeah. So from then on, I started believing in this stuff, but I did not know Randy I was practicing yoga, which was interesting. Right. And I didn't know until in 2017, I came across, actually it was before that, not 2017, so sorry, that was recently. It was like 2007? No. Well, 06, maybe even a year before that, yes, that I came across a yoga training offered locally offered in Toronto. Right. Yeah. And I was pregnant with Alexis, and when I discovered the physical aspects of yoga, and just stumbling across this whole thing, really just stumbled across. I was walking on the Danforth and I saw a sign for yoga, prenatal yoga, and I walked in. That's how my yoga, history started.
Yeah. So obviously that was like in the 90s, because I'm not like 13 years old.
I was gonna say.
She looks it sometimes.
Oh, I sound like that sometimes.
Yeah. Yes, and I'm not 35. So, all right. So basically, I started in a church basement, practicing in a church basement with an amazing prenatal teacher. And I gave birth seamlessly, no issue. It actually, like, I can't even tell you how many ways yoga began to change my life. And so I jumped ahead. So basically 2007, I found this yoga instructor course, and I jumped right in. And the rest is history, basically. For a while, I was teaching dance and yoga side by side. I was working for a company called Yoga Dance Academy for about 5 years.
So what kind of dance?
Ballroom dancing.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a competitive ballroom dancer in my youth.
Wow.
And I never got into that stuff. I tried it multiple times. I tried different kinds of dance, but no, my brother got into dance. Yeah. I didn't.
Right.
So I was doing like a lot of the school sports, like track and field, basketball, volleyball, and the like, when I was from very young age. But in elementary school, I was more competitive at it. Okay. I've done figure skating and high diving and swimming. I did competitive swimming, that I know, competitively, right? What else did I do? Soccer, karate.
Platform diving.
I said that. Karate was the most recent one, but I had to stop that just due to the cost of it. And then I went off to university. And in university, when I went into their rec center, this beautiful facility, that's when I got intrigued by the people lifting weights there, and I tried it out myself. because until then, I was also practicing yoga by going to her classes. So if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have gotten into yoga most likely.
Right.
But when we parted ways, right? I stopped taking yoga classes because I would only go to her classes.
Right.
And I didn't,
It was a little biased.
I didn't know enough about it to do it for myself. And because it wasn't something that I still loved so much, like I wasn't motivated enough to just continue it on my own.
Right.
But I found weights, and I did a lot of self-research with that. And thankfully, I think I've found really good sources, because I still refer to those sources today.
Oh, good. Okay.
And so years of this, the only problem that I encountered, which led me to my journey with quantum healing and going to Quantum University, was that I realized that I was taking a lot of my stress out on the weights, and a lot of the stresses that came with living alone and not having friends. I literally didn't party. I went to the biggest party school in who knows, Ontario or beyond. And I didn't go to one party.
Really?
I stayed really unto my own, and I'm a very creative kind of person. Like I said, I love to write. I'm a dreamer. I love to play my guitar and my drums in my room and sing and whatever. But yeah, I just didn't resonate with a lot of people. But I think that a lot of that came with a sort of dissatisfaction within my own self.
Right.
And I'm that kind of type A person where I'm always looking to be better, and you just never feel like you're enough. Right. So that contributed to me every morning, even as early as like 5:00 a.m. I would be at the gym, right? Because I want to get my session done and get my day going.
Right.
The thing is, I would train so hard and so often that even when I wasn't recovered yet, and I knew I wasn't recovered yet, I would still go and hammer myself with resistance training. And from that, I'm still trying to cure myself from the resultant condition of this chronic pain that's really deeply etched in the body. So it's like I feel a constant soreness, especially around my shoulder blades, because I know that I used to have to really will myself to stand up tall and proud. And when I do pulling exercises, I would really squeeze my back, really get a stretch. And I never really fully recovered from that yet, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
Well, we all, well, not all know, but as new science shows, I should say, the fascia is very, very slow to heal. And it also is a system that stores all kinds of residual tension that we once experienced in our life for a very long time. So it's really difficult to get rid of these things. And but you know what, Randy, honestly, if I haven't injured my knee, I probably would not have ended up being a yoga teacher. And likewise, if Alexis did not experience all these mental and physical issues at that time, she would have never switched universities or careers. So yeah, it's very interesting how life kind of plays out.
Well, I totally resonate with you guys. I mean, I went to U of T, and I was a power lifter back then.
Wow.
And I'm the only female power lifter on record at U of T to compete.
Nice.
And everything.
Yeah.
But I get it, like so many injuries. And then from karate, I have so many injuries, which is why I don't go anymore. But, you know, all of a sudden you have to totally change your workout and change how you treat your body, and you can't do weight bearing things anymore. And, you know, like.
Yeah. And the thing is too, right, Randy? When you're an athlete, right? Or you're a high achieving tendency kind of mindset driven person, it's really hard to face when you have experienced an injury or some sort of setback that is usually caused from you mentaling your way through things. It's hard to deal with the fact that you cannot train as hard as you'd like anymore, or that you have to take this process of slow, easy recovery, you know, relax, go through the kind of slow and cushy therapy and all that kind of stuff. And you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden you have to.
Mm-hmm.
And you realize, wow, what a mental game this is.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, yoga therapy holds that the slower and more measured your movements are, the better the healing aspects of that movement is. Right. So it's called interoception, and it's a kind of a new expression even in the yoga field. It's fairly new, where you intuit into your own body, and it's a kinesthetic awareness that you kind of develop, and the movement itself will begin to reach your nervous system and begin to heal from the inside out.
Okay, perfect.
Yes,
So,
and the same thing with breath. I'm very actually studied with Leslie Kominoff, who's a breath specialist and an amazing yoga anatomy teacher. I've been studying with him for a long time. And I absolutely love learning about the breath. It's so amazing what it can do for you.
And people really underestimate it, actually, in all types of activities, regardless if it's yoga or anything.
Exactly.
Okay,
because it's in a very intricate relationship with your nervous system. That's exactly why, which controls every bodily function in your body.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So tell me a little bit about the services you guys offer today. What are you offering? How do you help people so that when someone's listening to this, they can really say, okay, yeah, I want to work with you on this service. So tell us a little bit about that.
Sure.
You want to go for it?
Sure. So first off, COVID has changed a lot for many people, many companies. So at first we were thinking in a brick and mortar business, as a matter of fact, when we first came upon this idea. But obviously that didn't happen, and I'm really grateful that we did not venture into that for obvious reasons. So online coaching is a fairly new thing, but very widely spread. But what we do is fairly difficult to do online. First off, because we do a process of one-to-one assessment, which has to be about being in the company of the client. So that I actually do an active and passive muscle testing on the person. So it's assessing range of motion and strength and stability of the body. And obviously the vibration doesn't come through the screen the same way as you would be in the company of somebody. So I really prefer that method. And when there is no lockdown or very strong restrictions, we still offer that service if somebody's open to that, and we wear masks and go through the whole procedure. So, but that doesn't, we try to stay away from this for now until everybody feels safe and sound. But we also offer a free consultation. So that could be a Zoom meeting, just like you do with us right now, where people can talk to us about their issues, their history of injuries, or anything that they want to talk about. And then her and I sit down and we come up for yogic and other methods, quantum methods, to help that person heal herself or himself over time. So we just offer life, I guess, lifestyle changes.
I mean, in essence, when we're talking about fitness and mindset and the whole stuff, it's really about lifestyle, right? Let's face it, right? It comes in a bundle, because we have to approach any conflict that a person has, whether it manifested in the mind or in the body or wherever it may be. We have to take a 3-dimensional or a 5-dimensional approach, if you will. Where there are many things that have to be addressed at the same time. So it does require someone to commit to a sort of lifestyle change. Yeah. By getting to know the person through even a Zoom consult, we get a feel for where they are at and where they want to get to. And we always meet the person where they are in their capacity to execute something in their life, because we're not believers that a lifestyle change means round it all up and let's flip it on its head, right? Yes. It just is not sustainable. And when we are talking about lifestyle, we're talking about sustainability, right?
Yes.
I know a lot of people come to us because we are fitness professionals. Well, I, at least as a personal trainer, with the mindset of, I want to change my physical appearance. So that's going to be a lot of demand for weight loss and things like this. But me, with also having this quantum health coaching background, I know that half the time that's not exactly what they need to embark on a weight loss journey. But second of all, people also neglect to see a weight loss journey as something that's temporary and not something that's a lifestyle change. Right. Yeah. Because the hardest part of weight loss is not necessarily the, who knows, 4 to 12 weeks it takes to lose the weight you want. It's coming out of that and reintegrating your new body into your new life. And that's where it requires a mindset change. Right. This is something that quantum health coaching helps to establish in people. Now, this is, again, where I've hit a challenge due to COVID, because for quantum health coaching, I am more interested in biofeedback and the heart-brain connection. And to train, what this encompasses, first of all, because I know that's a very kind of foreign subject for a lot of people, it requires the use of a lot of technologies or measuring devices that could translate your brain waves and your bodily signals into readable charts and measurements that we could see progress with over time. And actually we are flooded with these type of technologies. So already we are seeing a change in healthcare where people are given these devices to take charge of their own health and their own health decisions, right? We've got Fitbits, we've got the Muse headband, which is a brain sensing device used for meditation, which is one of the interventions quantum health coaches can use and aid people with. We've got the Brain Tap headset, which is by a hypnotist, Dr. Patrick Porter, which I'm looking into purchasing myself, which is essentially light and sound therapy, which also helps regulate brain waves and trains your focus. That is what these are for. That is what meditation is for. But these devices just help give you a physical grounding and that sense of progress in such an intangible sort of endeavor, right? And I think that's what people really, really need today, but they need a little bit of guidance sometimes with how to implement these technologies.
I always say, Randy, that your business is good only if it has an ability, a flexibility to grow with you. So I refer to it as an organic matter. As a matter of fact, so as we learn and ripen in our respective fields, well, I'm ripe enough, I think, but hopefully Alexis will really accelerate in her field. She's on a very good way to that. And so that way our business will be able to offer more and more in-depth services. So this is our hope. We are a fairly new company. Sorry. So obviously we need a little bit more time to grow, but yes, but our intentions are very pure,
Yeah.
and we really want to help as many people as possible. I know it's a cliche nowadays,
Yeah.
but it really is truly. I am an absolute giver. I would give my services totally for free if I could.
Mm-hmm.
So
I hope one day I can.
on that note, tell us just quickly, how do you give back?
Yes. So
Providing platforms.
Pardon? Yeah, so we dividing on platforms. We share with other therapists or healthcare alternative healthcare professionals that can pitch in and kind of like, you know, participate in our services as they like, at the level they like. So that's one aspect. And then the other aspect is giving back to our community. As I said to you, I have this group, Health and Fitness Enthusiasts. I am posting there on a regular basis. I am offering my services for free to those people.
Nice.
And that's on what app called?
Oh gosh, Neighborhood Westbrook. I'm not sure exactly the exact name of this, but many people are familiar with it.
Nextdoor.
Nextdoor, that's right.
It's an app called Nextdoor.
Very nice.
Very
that's
nice.
right. Well, that was this opportunity just presented itself. I wasn't seeking it out, and as soon as I saw it, I'm like, wow! Right away, I saw the opportunity to reach out to my neighbors and introduce myself.
Yeah,
and say,
because we go for walks every day, right? Rain or shine with the dog.
We have a dog,
and we come across a lot of people also walking on the trails that tell us outright how that they're going crazy because of this lockdown and the social situation that has brought into existence. And we put the two and two together and we said, hey, Nextdoor, this app, and even creating Facebook groups, which we have one called the Deeper Layers of Fitness, where we also share this kind of information and have real discussions with people, right? We've seen the need, we've seen the problem that people are having, this sense of loneliness and that I can relate to, and this need for movement and a sense of direction in their physical activity and their mindset on how to approach, how to cope, how to deal with the stresses of life in the context of this new situation.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for giving back to the community, because I think that's really important. Like you said, you're seeing that there's a need for it and you're tending to it. So we really appreciate that. But I wanted to ask you guys, do you have any, like this can be personal, professional, whatever you want to share, any tips or suggestions for people who might be listening to this recording?
Right. Can I start?
Sure.
Well, first off, I'm a huge promoter of breathing, as I said to you, and the aspects of our breathing, which is such a habitual pattern, and we barely ever take time to notice how we breathe. It's just sit down for 5 minutes a day. That's all it takes. 5 minutes. Sit back, close your eyes, and watch your own breath. I'm not joking. It will change your life. What I do, Randy, I do many breathing practices, but when I take my time, when I go outside with my dog, it's my time. I don't take my phone with me. I don't have any distractions. And I do my breathing practice, which is basically just a long exhale at first, a long, calm exhale for as long as you can exhale comfortably. And then allow the inhale just to come in seamlessly without you actually taking a breath. Because what happens most of the time in stressful situations that we overbreathe, and sometimes we mouth breathe as well, right? And overbreathing for some people made the word or this name may mean that I am actively breathing. No. What it means is, yes, you're actively inhaling and you passively exhaling, but also we end up taking very short, small non-satisfactory breaths, like rapid breaths, and they're very superficial. So you're not using your deep core muscles to breathe. And that's a big issue on many fronts. Let me don't get into that.
So that's a whole
don't
other
get me started.
can of worms.
Yes,
there.
exactly. But it does directly affect your neurological state. So it will, and as it affects your nervous system, it will affect your body as well on many aspects. So migraine headaches, to chronic pain, to digestive issues, and so on and so forth, and eventually inflammatory processes that begin in the body that lead to disease. Right? So I really recommend highly that you learn to exhale long and calmly, and then let the inhale come in seamlessly at first, and then deal with your long, slow inhalations that go all the way down to your pelvic floor.
Okay.
Yep.
It's a very powerful
It is
practice.
gonna feel really slow, almost boring, and you won't be able to focus very well for very long, because it's nervous system training.
It's retraining.
That's what it is.
Yes.
And when we're talking about core musculature, which is important for anything in life, any movement, it starts with the breath. What I would add as well, is if someone is still not feeling a sense of direction and that's demotivating them to actually do this practice, you can do one of Heart Math Institute's quick coherence techniques, right? That's totally their creation. Definitely look into it more if you're interested. But all it is you put your hand on your heart just to feel your heartbeat, right? And it gives you some tactile feedback where, as you do this breathing practice that Nora suggested, you will feel how your heart varies. It's called heart rate variability in its beating. As you inhale, it'll beat faster. As you exhale, it should begin to beat substantially slower. And if you bring in at the same time a thought of gratitude or love for something, one thing, anything in your life, doesn't matter what it is, you will begin to feel it beat stronger as well. Okay? Do this, I kid you not, for even, like she said, 5 minutes, but even under a minute, you'll start to feel it. Okay?
Wow. Okay.
Hand on heart. Breathe, calm, assertive, steady breaths, deep, and bring in that intention of gratitude and love.
It's actually called heart meditation in yoga therapy. It's heart meditation. You're meditating on the heart, and the heart actually has 6 times the energy as your brain.
It's cohering. This is heart-brain coherence training.
Yeah.
Very related to heart rate variability, which is coming more to the forefront nowadays. You hear it a lot in athletics. It's cohering your heart and your brain. So anyway, look into it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So how do people get in touch with you?
All right. So we have a website, www.vitalsphere.net. It's a purely informational website where you can browse our posts. And also you can put your information in if you want to get in touch with us and, get more information. And you can also join us in our Facebook group. We gave you the link. So hopefully you can put that up for us, please, the actual link. But it's called The Deeper Layers of Fitness. It's a private group, so we have to let you in. But there's no huge criteria to be a member. And basically there we share our podcasts and our conversations, our kind of philosophy, I guess, and we allow every member to participate in their own way, however they would like, contributing.
Love that. Thank you. Yes, all your links will be on the page, so
thank you.
Guys out there can get in touch with these 2 beautiful ladies, and thank you so much for sharing with us.
Thank you for having us, Randy. This was awesome. It's awesome It's awesome because we want the world to know about these healing methods. Yoga therapy and yoga goes back to at least 5,000, if not 10,000 years in time. Like, imagine that. And quantum is right there with it, because quantum borrows a lot from yoga, as a matter of fact.
Right. Well, thank you, ladies. We
Yes.
really appreciate it. You've enlightened
magical.
us, and that's what it's about. So thank you. And
Exactly.
You're very, very welcome.
Thank you, Randy.
Thank you for listening to this interview hosted by Randy Goodman. We hope you will take action and connect with the incredible business people and leaders in our community. And remember, Randy is always here to answer any questions you have regarding your real estate needs. Be sure to register on the website and stay up to date on what's happening in your area at parkbench.com/millpond.